Out of this world. I'm BJ.
I'm Jim.
And we're here today to talk to you about 2012 and just have a little discussion here. So first off, let's talk about 2012.
2012, that's an event on the Mayan calendar.
Yep, so it's the end of the Mayan calendar. Now, a lot of people think that means that according to the Mayans it was the end of the world, but actually, according to the Mayans, it was the return of Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent or feathered serpent, which is one of their gods, and they believe that it's actually going to be his return, or so they say. And you know, to some, that actually they take the Mayans as their astronomy and astrology was as one. So for them, Quetzalcoatl returning could simply be an astrological event.
That's what I see. I see an astrological event, and you have this occurring now, on December 21st. That is the winter solstice.
Yes, exactly.
And on December 21st, during the current period.
It's a galactic alignment into the, basically we're going to be looking into the center of the Milky Way galaxy, something that we haven't done in 26,000 years, because it's the end of the 13th Bactum, which is equivalent of 26,000 year cycle. Now some say that that's 26,000 years ago is when man emerged from Cro-Magnon man, and actually according to some Peruvian shamans, they believe that this new cycle is going to be the birth of Homo luminous. Now these are some Peruvian shamans from the Andes Mountains down there in Peru, but it's very interesting that they've come down to say that. I also have heard from the Hopi Indians. They're saying that we're actually going from the fourth world and we're entering the fifth world. And that's according to Frank Waters' Book of the Hopi. And the fifth world is supposed to start in December of 2012. And so that's a Hopi. And then you go, if we go to some other native tribes, and actually in Africa we have the Zulu shaman Credo Mutwa says 2012 is the year of the Red Bull, and that a star with a very long tail called Mushushu Nonu will return. And the last time it came, it flipped the world upside down.
Ooh, that's a nasty one. You know, when you mentioned, what did you say, the feathered
serpent?
Serpent.
Yeah.
You know, the galactic center does look a bit like a feathered serpent.
Yeah, I've heard that. And then also, there's a constellation that's directly in the center of that called the Cygnus constellation. Now, Andrew Collins' a very interesting book called The Cygnus Mystery, which actually goes into depth about how the 26,000 years ago, that's why the cross, because the Cygnus constellation looks like a cross,
yes,
and it's also symbolized as a swan or a bird, and that ancient man had, you know, all these pictures of, you know, the feather serpent represented as the cross or the bird. That's just kind of, maybe we're joining a lot of stuff here together, but trying to look at an overall picture.
We just covered the gamut.
Let's see some other 2012 prophecies. You have Daniel Brinkley, who in 1975 was struck by lightning at his house, and he was talking on his telephone, a landline. And that caused him to have a near-death experience where he flatlined for 28 minutes. And have you heard of this?
No.
Yeah, so during this flatline, he met 13 beings, or silver beings, and they showed him some like 300 scenes from the future and like 100 major world events, and see, 117 major world events actually, and 100 of them have come true by 2002. And according to him, what those beings told him at least, was that in 2012 to 2014 that there's going to be energies returning to this earth that haven't been here in a very long time. So kind of interesting, another 2012 prediction slash perspective.
Well, I'm getting excited.
From a near-death experience.
All right.
What else do we have going on? Well, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Terence McKenna or Time Wave Zero. But Time Wave Zero is basically Terence McKenna, while using ayahuasca, a drink that shamans drink containing the hallucinogen DMT.
Goodness.
He basically met some being or entity that told him to look at the ancient Chinese I-ching. And looking at the I-ching, which is a was a divination system, he graphed out these 64 hexagrams into a computer program, and he came up with an end date of the same date of 2012. But the thing is he came up with this in the 60s, and this is before the Mayan calendar he even knew about it, and he came up with the same date. So that's another really interesting one, is that it's completely different, and you know, some might venture to say he was doing the same drinks and stuff that maybe the ancient Mayans are doing, and that's how they got their information or their calendar, possibly.
I think the calendar is too learned. It contains such accurate celestial data
that is very true.
That I tend to doubt that it came from a chemical.
From a chemical? Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm saying that maybe possibly these chemicals can put you in contact with these beings or entities or the higher consciousness other side, and you know, possibly that's where they got their information. Not saying that the chemicals did it, but I'm just saying the possibility of that is possible.
Well, it could be they had a pretty good observational awareness, and then the chemicals gave them some really nice, colorful artwork to put into their intellectual side calendar.
That could be very well, and then hence the plumed serpent, you know. But that is very interesting. Also, we have Edgar Casey. Do you know Edgar Casey? The Sleeping Prophet, exactly. And he never exactly said a 2012 date, but he did say a lot about the change at the end of the age, the Aquarian age. Not the end of the Aquarian age, because we're actually entering the Aquarian age.
That's right.
So he talked a little bit about the Aquarian age, and that he said that according to the Aquarian age, that 3 new things will come about. Is that we'll have a new purity, like a purity amongst the world, that will have a global consciousness or connection, that will think of everyone as a brother and sister instead of just individuals so much, that will come together, and that we will literally have a new spiritual consciousness, that everyone will have more of a connection to the divine in a way. And that's from Edgar Casey, the Sleeping Prophet, who is, you know, he was the prophet to presidents, Truman and was it Truman?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he was. Actually, I don't know which president.
Yeah, it was
a prophet.
Yeah, I know he talked to some presidents though.
Yes, but I wanted to say that I know somebody. I'm out of touch with him now, but I know somebody who could do some of those Edgar Casey things, like leave their body, go into somebody's body, and find what is ailing them, and be able to prescribe and, you know, repair.
Oh, that's amazing. So you knew a guy that could do that.
Yes, and he was tremendously enthusiastic, bright, you know, powerful spirit type of person.
Oh, that's cool. That's great to know that you know, you knew somebody. Obviously, we've all both had tons of mystical and crazy occurrences in our life, but that's almost like a, you know, that's like a healer. That's real rare to find a prophet like that, almost.
It is.
That's really cool.
But I digress. We were around 2012.
So what else? So like speaking of the age of Aquarius, because we think we're entering the age of Aquarius and we're leaving the age of Pisces, represented by the fish. Now the age of Aquarius, I've heard this said, is that it's the only constellation that actually it's a human, and he's carrying a bucket full of water. Now I've heard some esoteric meanings to this is that he's literally carrying the DNA in the bucket, and that when the because he is the only human constellation, that marks the time of change, and that maybe a change in DNA. Now I've heard that from some esoteric writings, but I don't know. Have you heard anything like that?
No, I haven't. But I started to daydream off and thinking, no, the age of Aquarius comes about because the Earth axis does this over a 26,000 year cycle.
Yep.
It wobbles
from procession to procession.
Right, and you divide that 26,000 year cycle into 12 chunks, and those are the ages representing the zodiac signs. Is that how you say it?
Yep, yeah, exactly. The signs. Yeah, what sign are you? It's the best pickup line in the world.
Yes, you know, that's why I know my zodiac.
yeah, for the ladies. Well, so speaking of the age of Aquarius, when you look into certain secret orders and societies, such as the Theosophical Society, which believes that during the age of Aquarius, that there's going to be this new age, that a new world order will emerge, and that this new world order will be led by a Maitreya, or like Maitreya is Christ again, and Krishna and Buddha and all those guys. Maitreya is them.
Maitreya is a teacher.
A teacher, yes. The great, one of the basically an incarnate of God, or a demigod, would you say, or I don't even know. I guess according to them, they believe he is like Christ returned, but they don't call him Christ, and they say that he is basically Christ is in him, but he's not Christ in a way.
I see.
That's what their viewpoint is. All right, well, take care, and we'll see you next show here.
Yes, I'm Jim,
and I'm BJ. Take it easy. Oh, here's some 2012 books too. Here I got here.
Yeah.
We're learned scholars. We're not just making this up.
Maybe I should read one of those.